Hey guys, what's going on? So, you ever loan money to like your brother-in-law or one of your friends and they don't pay you back? So you get kind of pissed and maybe you stop talking to them. Maybe you just let it go, or maybe you start hounding them to get your money back. Well, a lot of that like behavior and that emotion can bleed into your business if your customers owe you a lot of money. And so I've been talking to some people I know that run like contracting businesses and people in the janitorial industry. And they usually have a big complaint like, my customers haven't paid me. And I called them and I was yelling at them and I told them I have a very small business and I have to get paid immediately because we have bills to pay. I've got payroll I got to meet. I've got my own bills and we just need to get paid right now. And they don't understand. Like, I did the work last week and I still haven't been paid yet. Well, I have some thoughts on this topic. Typically, if somebody is in business for a long time and they're very successful and they're like a prominent business in the area, maybe a restaurant or a law firm or a doctor's office, something like that, like a big established company, they usually got to that point because they are trustworthy and they do pay their bills. And I think it's extremely unprofessional to hound people for money all the time. And I didn't really realize this when I first got started, because I didn't have a whole lot of money. And it was like I would do a job and I'd have to get paid right then because I need to eat and I need to pay my phone bill and I need to pay for rent. So it'd be very stressful if I do a job, I spend money on materials and labor, and I don't get paid. And then I would want to call them and be like, pay me, this is my money. I earned it. I'm entitled to this. You're screwing me over. Like, you have like this very emotional reaction. And it took me a little while to realize that the successful people in my city, like the people that own the big auto mechanic shops, the people that own the big restaurants, just like the prominent people that basically run the city, they don't really think about money a whole lot. Like, they throw around $1,000 like it's nothing. And if you do a job for them, they might not pay you right away. Like, they're just not thinking about it. They're moving on to other things. And it's like their accounting department is going to take care of it. They just like sign deals, shake hands, tell you what to do. They expect you to follow through on it. And then you send them a bill and then they kind of just pay you whenever they want. And it's kind of like just the culture of small business is what I'm finding out. And so I needed to adapt to that in order to give off the same appearance and stability that these other big businesses have. And so the way I overcome, this anxiety and stuff is by managing my finances in a way that I'm not dependent on any one customer giving me any one particular check. And there's a lot of ways that you can do this. The way I've done it is I diversify my income amongst many, many different customers. And so I have a bunch of nightly janitorial accounts where we get paid every single month. So I know that I'm going to have money coming in guaranteed from this big list of customers. And I give incentives if they pay me early. I'll give them a 10% discount if they pay me by the 15th of the month. And this really helps to get cash coming in all the time consistently before the 15th of the month. And the next thing is I bill for the month before. And so right now we're in December. I've already billed for January. And so that means a lot of my customers have already paid me up until February 31st. So now I can keep that money in the bank until February 1st. And I don't have to worry about spending money, buying supplies and labor and spending my time doing these jobs because I already have the money in the bank. I'm not worried about it. Another way that I've diversified my income is by offering many different services. So we do carpet cleaning, floor care, restaurant deep cleaning, many, many different types of services. So not only am I like not only relying on my janitorial customers, but I get these deep clean checks a couple times a week whenever I do a job. And I usually I get a 50% deposit if it's over $1,000. So that covers basically all of my costs, all the labor and supplies and everything. So if I do have to pay employees, I know that I've got my stuff covered automatically. Like, the profit hasn't rolled in. until they give me that final check. But then that final check is typically due on delivery. So after the job's done, we send them the final invoice, and I don't really hound people for money anymore. I used to say, hey, have a check for me ready as soon as it's done. But now I just kind of give them the check or the invoice, and then they can send me a check whenever they want, and I don't really hound them about it. And I go to the mailbox all the time, and I hope that the money's there, but if they need a couple of weeks, whatever, it's not a big deal. Because I know that I am constantly doing jobs and constantly have revenue coming in. The third thing that I've been doing a lot of is keeping a lot of cash on hand in the bank. And I know this is really hard when you're first starting your business, but you should reach a point eventually where you have much more money coming in than what's going out. And just like when you run your household, you don't want to be, you want to live below your means. You don't want to spend all of the money coming in. And you could definitely do that when you have a business. You get a $5,000 check. Maybe you didn't have any bills due, and so you go out and you buy a $5,000 piece of equipment, or you spend it on advertising, or you spend it on like little marketing things like t-shirts and hats, or I don't know, whatever. You could just blow a ton of money in business just like you can in your personal finances. And so eventually, once you get to the point where your income's much higher than your expenses, I have set aside a significant amount of money just in the bank, just for survival, just to take a lot of the pressure off. And I really think managing finances like this puts you several steps above the amateurs and the people just getting into business. And it just makes you seem more level-headed. It makes it so that you can move on and focus on other projects. You're not just trying to hunt down checks from people just so that you can scramble and pay bills. I really think that that's an important thing to strive for. And I didn't realize that when I first started. I don't really know what I thought when I first started. It was like, when I first started my business, it was like, I do a job, I want to get paid right then and there. That's my money. I earned it. Give it to me. And I would get like mad when people didn't want to pay me. I didn't realize that these bigger businesses, bigger than me, the guys that I looked up to, like just the really wealthy men and women in my area, they're not spending their time stressed out about collecting one check from one customer. They don't give it much thought. So it was like, maybe I shouldn't give much thought to collecting that money. Like, if they're not concerned about paying it right then and there, I should give them time. And I talked to my buddy. He owns like a really big gas station in my area. And I try not to talk too much about my friends on here, but I just want to give some context. It's a very big gas station. They have many different sources of revenue. They've got like a coffee shack. They've got a post office inside. They have like a whole bunch of beers on tap where they fill up growlers and kegs and stuff. They've got like an oil change place on their property. And it's just like a very big, successful gas station. And what they do is they build these gas stations and then turn around and sell them or whatever. And so anyway, I really respect what he's done, what his family's done, and I've been looking up to them. And I talked to him about my business, and I asked him, I was like, so how do you guys handle your invoicing, like when you pay your bills and stuff? Because they have a lot of bills they have to pay. They have to pay the donut guy, they have to pay the beer people, they have to pay for the gas that comes in. Like, they've got a lot of bills that they have to pay. I'm on the other end. I don't have a lot of bills to pay, but I have to collect a lot of bills. So I just asked him, as somebody who has a lot of vendors, how do you handle that? Like when do you guys pay your bills and stuff? And he said that typically you give people 30 days. Like, even if it says due on delivery, you give people 30 days before you start getting on them. Like, just understand that if you give someone an invoice, don't expect to be paid for 30 days. And when he told me that, I just switched everything in my business. I just switched my whole mentality. And I'm like, okay, cool. Even though it says due on delivery, I'm not even going to follow up with these people for at least 30 days. I'll give them some time. They could do it whenever they get around to it. I know that they're established businesses. They're not going anywhere. I could see that they're successful because I could see how many customers they have and how they've been running their stuff. And I just need to chill out a little bit and not get flustered. And I think it's just one of those things that takes you to the next level. Not like a huge jump up. Like, this little thing doesn't make me like a way better company, I don't have like a shitload more customers because I did this. I'm not selling way more. I'm not like, you know what like it didn't make my company explode, but it really has been helping in a very like small little way, like helping build relationships with these customers. And as long as I'm showing up and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm gonna do it for the price I told them, and then I don't hound them on getting the check, I've been getting so many callbacks. Like so many customers just want to keep working with me, and I've been meeting a lot of guys that have like really big businesses, like, you know, eye care clinics, people that run churches, people that run like the auto mechanic places. I don't know, just so many different people that run big businesses seem to like really appreciate the laid back attitude of me not hounding them for money. And they follow through, they come through. And I could shoot them a text. Like if I needed the money, I think I'm now at a point where like I'm on a first name basis. I got their cell phone number. I just shoot them a text. Hey man, when do you think you get that check for me? You know? And I don't put pressure on them, but I just like keep it personal. I was like, hey, you know, it's been a little while. Maybe we could get some money rolling this way. And when I do that, usually the check will come like right away. So I want to mention this video because I've got like many thousands of dollars outstanding from work that I've already done like a month ago. And I don't let it get too built up. You know, I'm not going to get to where it's like hundreds of thousands, but you know, it's many thousands of dollars of work that I've already done that I'm anticipating coming in, and I'm not stressed out about it at all. And so I want to make this video for people who are just starting their business, just so that you know, get your own personal finances in order so that you don't put that stress on your customers, and that's going to help you build relationships, and it'll make your life a lot easier. Like you'll enjoy your business a lot more if you're not so stressed out about that type of thing. So, you know, people save up money to buy equipment, to buy vans, to buy tools, to hire employees. Make a little target of a savings that you want to have, and like spend your money in your mind on your little savings account in your business. You know, $5,000-$10,000. It depends on your business, but you know, you might need more. But anyway, if you want to do what you want, when you want, how you want, for you want, and how much you want, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time.